Black Lawyers for Justice formally condemns Donald Trump's illegal war on Iran. I mean, it's illegal. The United States is not supposed to go to war against a foreign nation unless they are under imminent threat of an attack against America or on American soil. And he has totally violated and desecrated that law by jumping into a war against Iran at the behest of Israel. I mean, and so the answer is no. No, the United States is not getting greater respect as a result of Donald Trump's actions, as in the case with most all of Donald Trump's actions, including this illegal and vicious war. The United States is receiving less respect, specifically in the military sense, because before the war was declared, the threat of a U.S. attack on Iran using its overwhelming naval and air power and bases in the region, the threat of the war was stronger than the actual results. Donald Trump said that the war would be over in a few hours at first. You know, he lied so much, but that it would be over in a few hours or a few days. And he believed that once they assassinated, just think about that. We're in a time now where the United States government leaders are just outright assassinating leaders of other nations. So they assassinated Ayatollah Khamenei.
Afro-descendant Ali, yeah, we writing history. Afro-descendant Ali for the whole world to see. Oh, yeah.
And Trump and Netanyahu predicted that once Khamenei was assassinated, that everything would collapse and new people would rise up and a new government would come into power, and all of that is wrong. So how could America be in a United States better position in the world? It's actually in a weaker position, because they've shown that by shooting all of those, using all of their best weapons, B-1 bomber, B-2 bomber, B-52 bomber, Tomahawk missiles, USS Gerald Ford, this carrier here, largest task strike force assembled since Iraq. Well, this government in Iran was supposed to collapse like Saddam Hussein's government or roll over like Maduro's government, and it just didn't happen. And even though Iran is not supported by a major power, not receiving active military assistance from China or Russia or anywhere, United States and Donald Trump have been unable to defeat the smaller government of Iran. Have not been able to defeat them. And so this is a new Vietnam for Donald Trump. And every day he's trying to find out how he can get out of it. Every day the world economy is in uproar and collapsing, and gas prices everywhere are shooting through the ceiling, and his poll numbers are dropping, not like they're hot, they're dropping through the floor. So he's gotten himself in a nightmare that probably will topple his presidency. I call Donald Trump the new Jimmy Carter and say that his involvement with Iran will be just like Jimmy Carter's, and that his presidency will be lost and his party's power will be lost on the illegal actions of this disastrous war on Iran.
14 away from the top there. What's come out of this, though? Because you sort of implied it was Israel's influence in getting Donald Trump involved in this war, because this is what they want. And they've been trying through different administrations. They tried it with Obama. They tried it with Bush. To get American troops to fight their war. And somehow Trump has been bamboozled into doing this. But prior to all this, Attorney Malik, I never heard people criticize Israel, because that was like the third rail in politics. You know that. We know what the Minister Farrakhan, we know what Jesse Jackson said. They've never forgiven those. But now you have conservative whites that coming out and attacking Israel, saying this is not what we voted for. We're supposed to be America first, not Israel first. Are you seeing that as well?
I see that, and that is a significant development. As you and I well know, over the course of the last 30 years, to criticize Israel or Zionist behavior with the influence of AIPAC and the lobby and with the Zionist influence here, that you couldn't hardly say anything. You couldn't even speak truth without meeting an avalanche of attacks. Things have changed. Things have changed because the actions of the state of Israel have become more and more easily condemned by anybody with common sense or who has a heart. Who has of anybody of any race out here who doesn't have a heart when you see Palestinian babies and children and shelters being bombed by Israeli bombs and missiles and just genocide. So what happened is times are changing. Now here comes Donald Trump office, and he promises that he's not going to engage in foreign wars. He comes in the office telling Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, that you don't have a blank check. You're not getting these billions of dollars from the U.S. government to fight your war, concede your territory because he comes to end wars. So how does he flip around now? And he's asking for billions, and he's spending $2 or $3 billion every day fighting some war against Iran that has nothing to do with of the United States. Matter of fact, it's hurting the United States. It's hurting the United States. So you're right. There are fissures. There are cracks. The Republic, his base inside of MAGA saying, we didn't sign up for this. What are you doing? They didn't sign up to fight Israel's wars, even though both of them have all financed and given Israel the means to wage war. So he's hit his head. Donald Trump is hitting his head. This is his Waterloo. This is his Vietnam. And what they expected to happen didn't happen. What happened? What happened to the revolution inside of Iran, where all of the people were supposed to rise up and to take power from the Islamic government? What happened to it? I think those people woke up once they saw America and Israel bombing little babies in hospitals in Tehran and bombing their country. I think they recognize that their real problem is not in Tehran, but their problem comes from Washington and Tel Aviv. So,
right. And hold on to right there, because we got a bunch of folks want to talk to you on this side of the conversation. 10 away from the top of the hour, racing the clock. Let's go to line 2. Brother Carlos is calling from Waldorf. Brother Carlos, Grand Rising, you're on with Attorney Malik Shabazz.
Grand Rising. Real quick, my question is, and this is something that is unheard of, but I think the Marian Edelson $100 million donation to Trump and other Jewish millionaires contributing has greased his palm and greased the wheel for him to take this action. And I think evidence supports that. What do you think, my dear brother, of that particular concept?
I don't know if I'm sure that might have had an influence. I don't know if that's specific here. What I think is you have converging influences. On one hand, Donald Trump himself sees himself as a make America great again. He's like a modern Teddy Roosevelt, and he sees himself as an American imperialist that through the use of military intimidations and gunboat diplomacy can get what he wants by either attacking or threatening to attack. He wants to take Greenland. He threatened to attack it. So he sees himself as the world and able to throw his weight around with military power. And so in that sense, he's doing this on his own. His Make America Great philosophy is made on him showing that America is the king of the world and can tell anybody what they want to do because they have superior military and economic power. And therefore, his philosophy is failing and his presidency is failing in this hour. And he's going to pay a steep price at the midterms. He's going to pay a steep price at the midterm.